Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To level up.
Okay, girl, let's get started. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of our April Girl Boss Month with Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
On today's episode, we have another special guest, Deepika.
Hey guys, my name is Deepika.
Deepika's nervous, so
I'm so nervous.
Well,
and I just looked at Alysha and she just started laughing. I had to start laughing.
God.
Oh my god.
Well, now we know how this podcast is going to go.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But welcome. We're excited
Thanks,
to have you on our podcast. We're excited to talk about, all your girl boss moments and share with everybody some of like the successes and stories that you've had to go through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to see what you're going to share with our followers.
So
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. So a little history. Deepika and I have known each other our whole life. So there's not that much that I don't know about her. But, we still do continue to surprise each other.
That's true.
And, we've watched each other grow and become the people that we are today. So why don't you tell a little bit something about yourself?
Okay. So my name is Deepika. I'm 30. I have a dessert business and I do have a full-time job as well. Should I just start there, I guess?
Yeah. So why don't you tell us how you started? Why don't you take us back a little bit into the pandemic? Because we know that was a huge growing year for you.
Yes.
So why don't we head back to last year and kind of like what you went through?
So let's rewind back to March 17th.
Yeah, because the pandemic wasn't enough.
2020.
When everything changed.
Yeah.
So I was I was an account manager at a jewelry wholesale company. I loved what I did not really love the company that I was working for. So I was always looking for something or another job. I was looking for another company to switch boat to, but
and is that because you liked fashion and you just wanted...
Yeah, so I went to school for fashion. I grew up kind of always wanting to do fashion-y stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I originally actually wanted to become a designer. Got into school for it, but chickened out and went into school for fashion merchandising management instead. Which I don't regret. I love what I do now, and I think that it's grown, and my love for it has grown.
And you got cute fashion sense. I like the way Deep dresses.
And we get her to tailor all our stuff.
Yeah, she sews too, guys. She sews.
Yeah, I do. Very minuscule, but I don't do it as much as I used to. But yeah, so I was working at a jewelry wholesale company as an account manager for about 2.5 years, and then when I think our company, because we did work so closely with China, I think we kind of found out about the pandemic a little bit earlier about what was going on in China. They were being very quiet about it. Like they weren't, because their emails are like all like read by the government. Like they're very scared. They weren't allowed to say stuff. Yeah. So they were like, no, everything's great here. Like, yeah, like we're still on lockdown, but everything's great. Like they were like sugarcoating everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But things were getting worse here. And I kept going up to my boss, like, what happened when SARS hit? Like, do you remember? Because I was like, I was 10 years old. Like, I don't remember. But I was like, you should remember. Like, what did you guys do in your business? And she's like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, I got laid off. Which actually I was kind of shocked about, because not a lot of companies let go of their salespeople, because regardless, your customers are going to come back and they're going to want that support that they always needed or they always expect, right? So
I want to ask, how did you feel when you were let go?
I could not stop crying.
It was a tough week.
I cried for a week straight.
Yeah.
Like even in the office, I was bawling my eyes out and people are like, stop touching your face. You're going to get COVID. And I was like, oh my God. Like seriously, like it was horrible. I like cleaned off my desk and I honestly thought it was going to last a week. Like we all didn't know how long it was going to last for. So like I still had all my personal stuff on my desk, but I took like stuff that I knew I couldn't live without. And then I left, whatever. And then...
And it's hard, right? Because, and when you are laid off, it's not your fault. And a lot
No.
of people were laid off and
Yeah.
affected by this.
Me
And
too.
it was nobody's fault,
Yeah.
but it was still such a shitty situation to have to
I've been
go
working since I was 13
Yeah.
years old.
I think
Yeah.
when we were both laid off, we
Yeah.
talked about this.
I
Yeah.
started babysitting these 2 little kids down
Yeah.
the street from me, and then I got a job at No Frills, and then from there I just kept working.
Yeah.
And I always worked full time when I went to school full time, or I had a full time job, had a part time job. Like I always loved being stupid busy. Like I
Yeah.
just loved it, you know.
Yeah.
And
So how was it taking a break now?
Yeah.
Not
the
working.
first week was honestly really hard.
Uh-huh.
But then it was nice.
Then there was a period of
there
amazing.
was like a period like of just like the weather started getting nicer, so we were going to the beach.
Yeah.
We were, you know, just
We had that summer
drinking
that you
all
never
the time.
get.
Yeah,
Like we had this long.
exactly.
I think it happened at the perfect time for both of us because summer had just started, and it was like we could finally enjoy a summer
Yeah.
and not feel bad about it.
And like not go to the beach after 5 o'clock. I can go to the beach at 12.
Yeah.
I can go to the beach at 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, the parks were closed and everything, but we found
We
secret
found
spots.
our secret spots.
And you know, we enjoyed the water, and that's all we wanted to do. Like we didn't sit and do stuff. Like we literally just sat there, had wine in our hand, and just enjoyed the beach, enjoyed the sun, and it was amazing. Like that part of my summer, like was amazing.
Such a good summer.
It was.
Mhm.
It really was.
It really was. Like yeah, we only got to stay in Toronto, but we went to different beaches.
Yeah.
We went. You know, we explored. I feel like our GTA
Yeah.
area.
I think it was a
little bit
good
more.
mental break for you as well.
100%.
Having worked since you were 13 years old, now it's like but it was also like a period of, I know you'd had this moment too. We had an amazing summer and it
Mhm.
was all great, and then it was like now it was like, at what point do I start looking for a job again?
Yeah.
At what
So-
point is it too much now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did start looking for a job right when I got laid off. But there
Mhm.
was nothing out there.
Yeah.
And then I was checking in again in like May and June, but all the stuff on Indeed was like 30 plus days it was posted. Like nobody was posting anything new. And especially being in the fashion industry, it's really hard to find a job. So then I
Mhm.
was, you know, broadening my search. I was trying to look for a different industry to work in just to get a job. But then I was like, I don't want to just get a job,
Yeah.
you know? And so I did speak to one of my really good friends, our really good friend, Rafi. I spoke to him and he was just like, you know what? He's like, you're never going to get this chance again in your life.
It's
He's
true.
like, you have a business. He's like, focus on it. He's like, take advantage of the government giving you EI and just
Bless
honestly,
the serve.
yeah, bless the serve. Honestly, like, and I'm lucky that I live at home and
Yeah.
I don't have a mortgage to pay for or bills to pay for.
Yeah.
And, you know, and my mom is okay to take care of those bills. She doesn't need me to like help her out or,
Mhm.
you know, so I took advantage of my living situation and took advantage of CERB and my business. And I was like, this is my chance of seeing if I can be successful. If I can be successful in a pandemic, I can be successful without a pandemic going on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so I took advantage of it. I enjoyed my summer and it was there were ups and downs to the year, but
Yeah.
I would say there was more pros in the year than there were negatives.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people are out here complaining about, you know, the time and stuff like that that they
Mhm.
have to spend at home, but no,
I
like
feel like we needed
I-
it.
you are
honestly,
never, and it's
now-
true, you're never going to get this time
yeah,
again.
No.
never. And honestly, like, and even when I was talking to my dad, he's like, why do you want to look for another job? He's like, Deep, enjoy it.
Mhm.
You know, he's like, for the rest of your life.
You're
He's
gonna
living his retired, amazing life right now. So he thinks that, like, you know, he's like, Canada, you're going to work until you're 65 and, you know, you're going to do this and whatever. He's like, so enjoy it. Like,
Exactly.
you're single, just, you know, just enjoy it. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. I did enjoy it. But I think in September is when I started seeing job postings again. You know, companies were showing more job postings and stuff like that. And I did go on a few interviews, but I wasn't
Connecting.
connecting. I didn't find anything that I was like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is what I want to do.
100%.
Until February, I think, or it was, yeah.
It's so deep. Sorry, I just need to. You started your baking business before the pandemic, right
Yes.
before it
So
in February. I
me
think, right?
and Raman actually. So Raman knew that I wanted to start a business for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the type of person that I always need someone to hold my hand, and I'm trying to grow out of that. And I think the pandemic has helped me kind of just be a little bit more independent and kind of trust my own instincts.
Mm-hmm.
But Raman was there for me, and she was like, she's like, you always love to cook and bake, and
We were like driving to see each other somewhere that day.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to go to the movies.
Yeah, I think we were going to go back when we could still go
Pre-pandemic
to the
life,
movies.
guys.
Pre-pandemic life. Okay, we were going to the movies. We were meeting up with a few other friends, and we were going to go. And I was like, okay, before we go to the movies, I'll meet you at Tim's house, and we'll talk, whatever. And then it ended up being after Tim's house. But she helped me, like, she's like, okay, you need to get an email address. You need to think of a name. You need to put a starting date. You need to start a menu. And then from there, she just told me what to do. And then after that, I did it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so it was, I think, middle of January or end of January when we talked about this. And I told her, I was like, okay, March 1st is going to be my launch date.
Yeah. Yeah.
So March 1st, we launched, and her, like, Raman and Karen, took me out we went out the night before, just had a girls' night.
Nice.
So I guess we did party
Yeah.
in 2020.
We did.
Yeah.
I know.
Before.
Right before. And then we went out for breakfast. They got me, like, little, like, oven mitts and a little apron. It was really
So
cute. Then we popped champagne.
Yeah.
Aw.
It was, like, really lame. It was in the car. Like, it was, like, but, like, it was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
But starting your business, like, we did not even anticipate the pandemic starting,
happening.
right? So the vision when we were making your layout and your plan and everything was so different than kind of like what ended up happening. But I mean, and I'll let you share your experience, but I personally think you did great.
Yeah.
I
For
was gonna
someone who
say,
started a business and it started in the pandemic and
right into it.
like for my business, it was really affected because like weddings were not happening and stuff like that. But desserts, like people will still want
need to eat.
People need to eat.
And I feel like you also took every opportunity before your launch date to like bake at people's events. Like,
so
I
think
Super
right
Bowl,
before,
you
Super
volunteered,
Bowl,
and they were delicious.
Yeah, I made cupcakes for Alysha's Super Bowl party and cookies, and then for Tim's birthday party, we had a St. Patty's Day theme, so I made a cake and cookies and desserts for that. And even with honestly, my sister was pregnant, and my brother-in-law loves desserts, and they live 5 minutes away, so every time I made something, I would just drop it off and be like, how does this taste? Or how does this
like
look?
blessings for a pregnant woman.
Right?
Yeah. Cookies at the fresh cookies at the door.
Godsend, for sure.
Yeah, and any birthdays, like all our friends' birthdays happen in like after like January, then we kind of have a break, but then it's like April, May, June, July, like everybody's birthdays, like whatever. So I was really lucky to like just start. I used that opportunity to get content for my Instagram, and I was like, this is my website. Instagram is my website. So I'm like, if I don't update it daily or post daily, and sometimes I do have a few days where I'm just like, oh my God, I haven't posted in so long. Or you get busy with life or whatever. But yeah, like I just used that opportunity. I started baking more, and I started like watching a lot of YouTube videos.
You did amazing.
Videos.
Yeah. You were on every trend too. So I gotta give you that.
I tried to be because
like the hot chocolate bombs.
If I'm not doing it, somebody else is going to be doing it.
Yeah. So how was it starting a business in the pandemic? Did you feel like there were challenges you faced because of the pandemic that maybe you would not have faced if it wasn't a pandemic?
I think my biggest goal of when I started the business was to do dessert tables. We talked about that. Wedding cakes and dessert tables is what my absolute goal was, because that's where the money is. You're making a bigger order for people and you're obviously making more money. Mm-hmm. And so that was my goal. So it was hard because nobody was doing events.
Yeah.
So it was smaller events. So I kind of took advantage of that, and I did cupcake specials. I did smaller cakes, cookie orders, and I took away my minimum order for orders because I'm like, there's a pandemic going on.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, if someone wants to place a $25 order, I'll give it to them as long as they pay for delivery. Like I would still charge for delivery, but I had to switch my plan.
Yeah.
But it still worked out in the end. I still got content because at the end of the day, that's what I needed. I needed customers and I needed content and I needed people outside of my family and friends to try my stuff, to be like, hey, Deep, you're doing a good job, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was a good time. I mean, it, in a sense, like you were going to try to start a business while having a full-time job, but then losing your full-time job kind of did give you the 100% focus to start your business. And maybe that kind of, in a way, helped you have such a good kickoff start. Because I can tell you, like, I told Deep, like, 3 months down after she started, I'm like, I would not picture someone who just started a new business to have this many orders, this much content, like the skill level, right? Even like if I had to start we all know like how bad I would be with like desserts and baking and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and with Deep, it was like baking was kind of like a passion. She's good at cooking and stuff like that. Definitely. So it did come easy to her, but you had that time like in the day too, because I remember some days you'd be like, I'm practicing this or I'm practicing this, which is versus if you had a full-time job, you'd come home, you're tired.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
Because like making content includes doing things that are not going to make you any money, right? And coming home from a full-time job and trying to do that is really hard. It's tiring.
Like, you need the motivation. If you don't have it, then it's just not gonna, like, you're not gonna want to do it, you know? And so I was lucky that, you know, I didn't have a job at that point because I was just baking all the time. And if I didn't feel like doing it when I first woke up, then I would do it in the middle of the night or I would do it, you know, like another day or something like that. Like I didn't have anything else that was going on, so I was really lucky at that point.
Very creative too.
Thanks.
You know, you were creative during a time that everything was on social media. We were only left to social media, so for you to be out there and really be able to put your desserts online, and you had a lot of Insta stories too that you also would be doing. And I feel like, you know, I was intrigued. I know that like every time I saw something you posted, like even just recently you did the little Easter butts, and I was like, this is so cute. Like your stuff was genuinely cute, like too, like and too cute to eat.
Yeah, and I do take inspiration from other people on Instagram, and you know, I'm always searching on Instagram or on YouTube doing like, you know, doing research, or someone has an idea and then I'll do more research on it, and you know, and I think a lot of people don't understand that the research part does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to send me a picture and be like, okay, I want this. Yeah. Exactly. Like, okay, that's great, but I need to figure out how I'm going to make that, you know? Yeah. So I have to watch a video of how to do it. I need to see if there's even a better way of doing it, or then I need to practice it. And or if it is something that I've done 100 times, like cupcakes or whatever, I still need to do research and, you know, all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So...
And I think one thing that kind of pushed you to get clientele and get everything is because you didn't have a job either. Like I remember you saying that, you know, I at least I'm making money on this, like on the side as well. Like obviously there's serve, but that doesn't cover your full income. No. So now you do have something that you're making money on the side as well. Yeah. So, okay, question. So what was your favorite fad of like in the last year? Because you know I saw so many. I don't know if it was because like
I don't know,
it was a pandemic.
Were just bored.
What did you have the most fun creating?
And what was your least favorite? And I know the answer to this.
I know you know the answer. Okay, so I think my favorite. This is not a fad, but unicorn cakes. I love making unicorn cakes.
They're just so cute.
They're
classic.
Cute. Love it.
I actually have. One that I haven't posted yet that I did a couple of weeks ago. I've just been waiting because of Easter. But and I just love making them, and I wish people did them a little bit more. And there's so many other ideas I have for them, like doing mermaid versions or like I posted one of a cow, of that cow cake, but originally it was supposed to have flowers on it and kind of look like a unicorn cow, but she didn't want it like that. And I was just like, it would have been so much cuter like that. Like, just personally, that's what I like to do. And I also like doing cakes with like flowers on it and like very like contemporary pretty cakes that you do for like bridal showers and like very girly cakes. Like,
Yeah.
I like doing that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like, maybe because I'm just so girly.
But
I
it's
don't know.
appealing. It's appealing to the eye,
Exactly.
right?
And even when you
vibrant
go through,
colors.
It's not just the taste about ordering a cake
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's about how it looks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is probably my favorite stuff to do.
What was your least
And then what was your
favorite?
least favorite fad?
Hot chocolate bombs. I hate hot chocolate
Was it the
bombs.
shortage of chocolate or what?
Oh my god.
that is like a whole nother
that's,
issue.
Honestly, first, there was no toilet paper in the world. And then there was no flour in the world. And that was like April of like 2020. It was a month within my business. There was no flour. I was like,
everyone was making
freaking
bread
out.
and banana bread at home.
And I'm like, people need to stop. And there was no yeast. And I was like, people need to stop because I was like, I have a business on the line. Like,
And
what
vanilla
do you-
at one point.
Yeah, vanilla. Like, oh my god, it was like horrible with the things that I couldn't find.
And now it's chocolate.
And then there was chocolate.
Mhm.
So I usually buy my chocolate from Bulk Barn, or I have like my specialty stores, but a lot of the specialty stores had closed down because of the pandemic, or you can only order online. And honestly, it's just harder. Like, I'm the type of person, I like to go physically to see the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You can do the measurements in your head and stuff like that, but you need to like,
You're a visual person.
I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go to Bulk Barn or whatever. And even ordering online at Bulk Barn was so hard.
Yeah.
But, so not a lot of people know this. And I was even teaching Raman when I was complaining about chocolate, is that you need to temper your chocolate. And so you need to cook it at a certain degree. And if you don't, then you're burning it and you're burning the cocoa. And you can tell if chocolate's tempered because it'll have a snap. And if it doesn't have a snap and it just bends, then your chocolate wasn't tempered properly. And that's the biggest challenge in using chocolate and melting chocolate. And
because the bomb would like just break, I would assume.
yeah,
right,
like,
if it's
so
not
my
made
bombs
properly.
were just melting and I'm just like, I tempered it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, like, am I taking it out of the freezer too quickly? Am I like,
I remember you were going through this.
I was just struggling. And then Alysha placed an order for like 20 bombs and I was like, do you hate me? Like, do you hate me?
Deepika was
She's
like, I
don't
can't
even
wait.
know if I can find chocolate.
I know. I remember Deepika was like, I hope this fad ends and it never comes back. And then like you just got a whole bunch of more orders.
Yeah, and then I was like, and I can't say no because I'm like, one, I needed the money, and two, I'm just like,
Can't be like, I'm not gonna make it because
yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like to, you know. But and I invested in the molds and stuff like that, so I'm like, I should just do it, you know.
Yeah.
And making them out of white chocolate is so much easier. And that's why I switched to dark chocolate, because there's more cocoa in dark chocolate. And number two, it does taste a lot better because it gets overly sweet when you use milk chocolate and white chocolate. It does get overly sweet because you're also putting chocolate powder in it, and then the marshmallows. And then some of mine had like sprinkles on it, and that's sugar too. Like it's just sugar. So using dark chocolate, there's less sugar in it, and it's more cocoa, so you get a richer flavor. I just felt.
So can I put in an order for dark chocolate now?
It's like getting warm outside. Okay,
I still like a good hot chocolate here and there.
But I personally, I don't really like chocolate, so I made green tea matcha
Oh, I saw
bomb.
that.
Those
That looked
ones
good.
looked so good.
Can I have one of those?
Yes.
Okay.
I made them for me and my sister, and honestly, it tasted like, if you guys have ever tried a Starbucks green tea latte,
Yes.
that's exactly what it tasted
Yeah.
like.
I love that one.
Like,
That's the only thing you like from Starbucks.
I
I
know.
know.
I only like their green
I
tea
love
lattes.
the green tea latte, but like it was so good. It made me kind of be like, okay, I don't mind this trend anymore.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now I was getting something out of it, because I was like, I don't like hot chocolate, so I was like, you know.
That's amazing, Deep, that your baking took off so well, and you sound like you have such a creative outlook on it. So definitely, that's amazing to all our followers and listeners, that, you know, you can definitely start a business at any time in your life
100%.
commit to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Deep, you know, one thing that I really admire about you, and I think is really great, is that, you know, you're in your 30s, and
Oh, say it louder, girl.
So Deep just recently turned 30 this year. I'm already 30, so I'm just happy to have a fellow girlfriend 30 now.
I've been 30
Yeah.
apparently all of last
Okay,
year.
girl.
But you're not
you
officially 30
have
yet.
like 24 days. Okay.
She's not officially 30.
But I've been telling everyone I'm 30.
Okay,
Anyways,
well,
regardless.
stop jumping ahead of your life, okay? So Deep, you know, you said you still live at home. So can you talk to our other 30 single girls out there that are at home, living at home, and how it's not so bad as these judgy aunties out there might be making it seem?
So,
or what are the judgy aunties telling you?
Yeah, tell us.
So, another blessed thing about COVID-19 and 2020 was that I haven't seen my family. So, as much...
So you got less comments?
Another blessing
I
from
love
the
my
pandemic.
family, and I know they're going to listen to this. I love my family. I have a huge family.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cousins who are around my age or a few years older, a few years younger, and a lot of them are married. And a lot of them are engaged or about to get married this year or have kids. 3 of my cousins, 2 of my cousins, plus my sister just had a baby last year.
Yes.
Cute
Super
nephew.
cutie.
Very cute.
He's adorable. I love him. But yeah, so being 30, single, living at home, it's not always easy. However, there are so many advantages that I get if I were living on my own. And it's not because I don't want to live on my own. I just feel like, why do I need to pay rent or have a mortgage right now? Like, it just, financially, it just never worked out for me at that point of my life. I think that's what I'm working on. So in the next couple of years, I always said to myself, oh, when I find somebody, I'll move on, move out and whatever. No, I have changed my outlook in life in the last year. And my outlook is, in the next couple of years, I will buy my house on my own.
Yeah.
And I will,
So you don't need a man to do that.
No,
which I
don't.
find very admiring,
And
or a partner.
I still get the pressure from my dad, from my mom, from, my other aunts and stuff like that.
What do you say to them?
So it's actually really funny. So the other day I was like talking to my cousin and I'm like, she's like, what do I say now that I'm single? And, when people ask me why I'm single, and I'm like, tell them that your wedding's next week, and then be like, why didn't my parents invite you? And just laugh it off and just walk away.
Oh, sorry, you didn't get the invitation?
Yeah, sorry, you didn't get the invitation in the mail. Mom, why didn't you send it? What the hell, man? And then just walk away. Just honestly, just make a laugh out of it. Just get out of the situation, because and honestly, I feel like our society doesn't understand what we're going through and why we're single.
Exactly.
I'm single because for a very long time, I wanted to be single. I wasn't looking for anybody. I was focusing on me. I wanted to, feel better about myself, lose weight, or, just grow as a human being. I was trying to find a career and trying to, even before the pandemic, I was looking religiously for a new job.
Yeah.
Something closer to home, something paying better. And,
you just had so much on your plate.
Had so much on my plate.
Without the added...
Dating is a second job. And now that I have a business, I have a second job. This will be a third job.
Yeah.
Like dating, actually
I think
having a
people
conversation
think is like
it's
so
easy.
easy.
It's not.
Like,
you don't just go on an app and be like, hey, I like this guy. He's going to like me too. We're going to go out for drinks and it's going to be, perfect.
Especially, I think, in this up to age that, you made a good point about the apps. Like, it's not easy, being out there and trying to talk to someone through a freaking screen. But then that person could be going through their own side of emotions because it is a global pandemic. So everyone is going through their bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do I put my bullshit aside and everything else I'm dealing with and then now try to talk to someone? Is there even any point? Will there even be a wedding date? Like, what's going to happen in the next year or so? We don't even know how to plan.
And like the problem of, meeting up, like that was and I know like you did take the break and it was very unfortunate that when you wanted to
start dating
again, the pandemic kind of happened.
But so like in 2019 I did make a decision that I didn't want to date. I wanted to take a break from, I was just going on a lot of dates and it was just...
They were weird.
There's
some weird people out there.
Yeah. And there are some good guys, but like they can be an amazing guy, but you just don't have that connection.
Yeah.
Like it's unfortunate because you're like, I wish I can get into this guy, but sometimes I was explaining it to Raman just the other day that you get the ick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're into this guy, but it's like he says one thing and then you get the ick and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, and then you
It's
just
like
gotta,
your red flag.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, and it is on my goal board for the year that I'm gonna go on more dates. I'm gonna be less picky.
Good for you.
And, you know, because I am very picky and I am trying to look for somebody that will match my personality, but I think I am a little bit too picky because
But that's
I
okay
think
too.
and that is okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
came to the realization that the person that you end up having that spark with might be like not someone like you.
Yeah.
He might be somebody completely different,
different.
but then you two will come together on a better basis. Because somebody like, if you date somebody like you guys might butt heads
Yeah,
or
You won't
you know.
mesh as well.
And even
Yeah.
when I see you guys, like
Oh, yeah.
you and Tim are totally different.
Yeah.
Like Tim is an introvert. We've been friends with Tim. I feel like I've known Tim since I was 18 years old, and you know, I saw him maybe 5 times in my life. You know, like unless I went to his house, like I never saw him. You know, so.
And now you see him so much more.
And I see him all the time now. Like at least like, you know, once a month or
Yeah.
every couple of weeks.
And that's what it is. Like
That's
people
because-
compliment each other, and it's like I make him get out once in
Exactly.
a while when he has
Exactly.
to, and yeah, it works together. And even like with Amit and Alysha, like they're completely
different.
and if Alysha dated somebody that was like her, like it would just not work out.
Oh,
like
I can't even imagine Alysha with anybody else other than Amit.
Like I always tell Amit I'm crazy enough for the both of us. We
Yes,
can't both be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I can be crazy.
100%.
But like I'm glad you shifted your thinking to like, you know what? I'm gonna be open.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I recently started dating again, okay, during the pandemic. So I never deleted my apps. Well, actually I did for a few months. I did delete them. I deactivated everything. I just needed a break. But then I was like, I was bored one day.
Yeah.
And I finished Netflix. So I was like,
It's like what's
let
left?
me, you know, go back out there and see what's out there. So I downloaded like the typical apps, Tinder, Bumble,
Yeah.
Coffee Meets Bagel,
Can I
Dilmil.
ask? Because
I'm on every app. I've tried every single app, and some work for you and some don't.
So I've never had to be on an app because thankfully I don't think I would be able to do what you guys have done, because kudos to you, girlfriend. Kudos to you. I met Amit 10 years ago, so we're about to hit a decade next year. So I never was in that time
I didn't even know what
frame
Tinder
of
was
apps.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
even think it existed.
So I was in the traditional dating form still.
Yeah.
When you go on these apps, are they intimidating? Like, where do you start? Like,
so
is it overwhelming? Like, how do you feel?
It's like, okay, every conversation just starts with like, hi, how are you? Like that is, or you will get some pickup line. Either it will start with hi, how are you? Or
the
some
reason
weird
why I
ass
like
line.
Bumble is because the girl is in charge.
I like that.
Right?
Okay.
So once you match, then the girl has 24 hours to message the guy.
Nice.
And then the conversation starts going.
Yeah.
But then and then after the initial message that the girl sends, the guy has 24 hours to reply.
Oh.
But once
What if you had a busy day and you
I
know.
That's when sometimes I don't, but you can add another 24 hours once.
like,
What
would
the
Beyonce have time?
Like, and sometimes I don't, and I forget. And sometimes I don't, and I forget, and then I miss a match.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, and that's one thing I don't
But
like.
it wasn't meant to be. The
Exactly.
universe is basically saying, sorry, this didn't work out for whatever reason.
Exactly. So I am putting myself out there. I'm trying to go on more dates or whatever. I did go on a COVID date the other day.
COVID date. Oh my God.
That's what they're gonna call
Please
it.
tell us what a COVID date is like.
Okay, so
Cold.
cold.
Did you
I
check
got
his
open.
temperature?
Cool. Okay, so basically, it was actually a pretty nice day out that day that we went out. And it was after work. And we decided to go for drinks. I always like, as my first date, to have an easy out.
Right.
Being a girl, I feel like you don't want to do something that isn't safe for you.
Yeah.
And that you have an easy out in case, because somebody can be totally different on screen or on the phone than you see them in person.
Yeah.
So as a girl, I always like to do either coffee or drinks, and if the conversation is going great, like, yeah, okay, let's get apps or let's, get food or whatever to make it go longer. But usually I like to do something like quick, like an hour, just whatever. And then if we're really into each other, then we'll do something again, you know?
Yeah.
So, so I always do drinks first. So, and
Did you guys have to wear your mask the entire time?
no, because we sat at the patio.
That's
So
what I was like.
live
It was
in York
cold.
Region,
Because
in the red
nothing
zone.
is still open.
So yeah, so I live in
But everything
York
is open
region.
now
Not really. Yeah, so the restaurants are open technically,
for in dining.
but
Yeah.
we went to Scatterbush and it was cold.
Yeah.
We were on the patio.
Because we're in March, guys, so
Yeah.
Canadian winters.
Yeah.
There might not be snow on the ground, but it's still cold.
It's still cold.
It is.
Yeah.
But there was heaters outside, you were saying, right?
It was, but my feet were cold. 'Cause
Aw.
the heaters are all the way up there.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting and you're like, why is it all the way up there? My feet are the ones that
So
are
it's
cold.
like, how do you concentrate on this person in front of you when I have so many other
And
issues?
I didn't know that we were going to be sitting outside. I didn't know that it was going to be like a patio date, but I should have figured. And Raman knows that I'm the worst when it comes to keeping warm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm anemic. I'm always cold. So
Fashion over warmth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good date. But honestly, dating in the pandemic is not easy.
Yeah.
There's only so much that you can do.
Yeah.
With the weather getting nicer, these are, I think, a few things that you can do. One is that try to be more open-minded. I think it's very important to be open-minded and try to just, I don't know, just if you get the ick,
Yeah.
it's really hard to recover from it, but try not to get the ick.
Like, keep
'cause
going,
Yeah,
right?
keep going, keep trying, and then you never know. You never know. It might just work out. Number 2, places to go during a pandemic. Patios are now opening up, even in Toronto or in the GTA, like where we live, patios are opening up. I've spoken to somebody in the States and they were saying the same things, patios are opening up now. So that would be a great place to go. Walks are a great way to, get to know somebody. You can grab coffee before, go for a walk. There's so many nice trails everywhere. No matter where you live, there are nice trails. Even in the city or in the suburbs, there's always nice trails that you can check out in your area. And drive-ins. I wouldn't suggest a drive-in, I think,
on
your first date. But if you've talked to somebody a couple of times or if you've gone out a few times, I would say that a drive-in is a great way to kind of see how you are with the person in silence.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah.
That's awesome, Deep. Thank you so much for that advice. I hope it helps the girls out there.
I hope so too.
And the men out there.
I'm not an expert, but
but hey, you're going through it. It's not easy, and you're staying optimistic, which I think is so crucial during this time because it can be hard, you know. But kudos to you. Keep going.
Thanks.
Okay, so Deep, what has been your why? And if it's been during the pandemic or in the last 2 years, what would you say is your constant why throughout why you wake up every morning and do what you do?
Why I wake up and do what I do every day. I wake up every day to do what I do because I need to.
Okay.
No, but that's a good answer.
I
know.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Honestly, if I really wanted to, I would have continued to not have a job and continued to stay on, because I could have stayed on EI for another 6 months.
Absolutely.
I decided not to, and that was because I wanted to build a house. I want to build, I'm ready for that next step in my life. So my future is waiting on me until I make that money that I need to make. I want to buy a house. I want to start a second business, and I want to, I have all these goals that I want to accomplish in the next couple of years. And so that's why I wake up every morning and go to work and,
and now you are in a job that you
love,
right?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, I love my job that I do. It's still in fashion. I work at another accessory company, but
so much better.
So much better.
There's a lot more growth.
It's 15 minutes away from my house.
Best part ever.
That's the best part. And I'm the type of person that I don't think I would be able to work from home for too long. I need to go into work. I need to dress up every day to feel better about myself. And just to feel like energy and stuff like that. Like I even came here today, I have makeup on my face. Why? Because I don't know, it just brightens up my day.
Yeah.
It makes you happy.
Exactly.
We spend way too long, I think, indoors in our comfy clothes that now it's like when we go out, even for like
Any reason.
Any
to dress
reason,
up.
Even
it's
to
like,
go to the
let me
mall
dress up
or
a little.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
go grab a coffee. I'm gonna wear makeup today.
Exactly.
You know, like I'm
Feel
going to
good.
Walmart. I'm gonna wear makeup today.
And you know what? I think that's so essential to everyone out there that if you are working from home, let's take those little trips to feel good about ourselves.
Mhm.
Do something nice for yourself.
Mhm.
Put on the eyeliner, put on the blush, put on the lipstick. Who cares who's watching? The point is you're going to feel good even if it's under the mask.
Yeah.
You know? Take
Yeah.
a cute selfie that day too to make yourself feel good.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I like that.
Mhm.
Okay, so Dee,
Mhm.
what is the best advice someone has given you?
I feel like it is. I can't think of like one exact moment of like the best advice someone has given me, but can we switch it to who motivates me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that my biggest motivator, or one of my biggest motivators, is Raman.
Oh.
Wow. She motivated me to start my business. She and I, like she said, have been best friends for 20 years. I've known her for like my whole life.
We're having a 20-year party this year.
Yeah.
So
we're
cute.
gonna have. I want to have it on a yacht.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a yacht party.
I better
It might just be
invited
at
to
the
this
bluffs.
party.
It might just end up being at the Bluffs, 100%. But we're celebrating 20 years of friendship this year, and I honestly feel like at any point of our friendship, either one of us could have just been lazy and stopped calling one of each other.
It's true.
You know, like
Mhm.
And you guys live pretty far from each other too. So
now
that's
we
pretty
do,
good.
yeah. But
Yeah.
even growing up, it was our parents that had to drive us to each other's houses
Yeah.
when I moved away, and you know, but she's always been there for me no matter what, and now she knows too much of my life to leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to die with me now.
Even if you kick
so
her out, she'll still stick around.
she has to. She
I
doesn't have
know.
a choice. Like now it's the point like she has
I'm
to
like-
be in my life.
A needy best friend. Like, why aren't you picking up my phone call?
Yesterday she called me and I was at my cousin's house and then I was just like, oh, Raman's calling me, I'll call her later. Then she called me literally a minute later. Just like,
And she's like, what's up? I'm like, I
Maybe-
just called.
Raman is the reason why Deep does not feel the need to find a boyfriend. So I just want to put it out there.
It's like you guys are always single, or like
Yeah.
you're still single.
Oh my god,
She
they were
was
like,
like,
you
Two
two,
like are always together, and that's
and
why.
you guys need to find a man for yourself.
Yeah.
No, but she is one of my biggest motivators, and she motivated me to do my business. To I don't know if I'm ever feeling down. She's always the first person I call, and like to talk to help me be like, no, bitch, you got this. Oh, can I say that word?
Yeah. We swear here all the time. We're real, okay?
But like, yeah, bitch, you got this. Go do that. You
Yeah.
know, like, you got this. You got this. Like, before I'm going on a date, I'm like really nervous. I called Alysha. I called Raman. I was like, calm me down. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
die. I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
But like,
And I was like just as nervous.
yeah, she's like, oh my god, I'm so nervous. And I was like, you're making me more nervous. Why are you nervous?
And then me and Amit are like playing it out for you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it could go this way, it could go this way. It's gonna be
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So, you know, it's just yeah.
Fun fact. So the reason why Deepika and my friendship is like really special is because Deepika, we met in grade 5.
Yeah.
Or grade 4. Grade 5.
Grade 5.
Wow.
Miss Feinstein's class.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Deepika moved away after grade 6.
Okay.
So grade
So
6
grade
was my
6,
last year. Yeah.
and then she moved away. And
there was no MSN. We didn't have email addresses then. We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah,
Like
and
it was
to remain friends at that age
It's hard.
is hard. I think a lot of, and you know, like your children, you move on, you get new friends, like
and
whatever.
Raman was the only one that I did keep in
Yeah.
touch with from everybody at that school.
like we still went to each other's
birthdays.
birthdays,
We
That's
had
so cute.
sleepovers.
I remember
like,
we went
at
to
such
the zoo.
Yeah,
Your dad took us to the zoo.
We have a photo of ourselves, like, and
oh
we.
God,
Like
those
from
pictures.
the zoo, I
So
know,
so
but it's like
embarrassing.
at that age, it's so easy to like when people move away, you go, you start your new life
Yeah.
and everything. But like we at that like, and that's what's like amazing. At such a young age, we like kept in touch. Like
Yeah.
we kept in touch. We remained friends to a point where then we started like learning how to take the bus. So we would take the
Yeah.
bus to each other,
I started
and then
taking the bus at like to Milligan,
yeah. And then
you know,
we start
like,
driving eventually,
yeah,
and then you
I
know,
would
and
meet them at York or whatever. Like I always promised Raman that I would go to the same high school as her. But then I made my own friends like at my school,
Yeah.
and then I don't want to take the bus all the way down there. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So like, I lived on the other end of
but
Markham.
we still like
we kept in touch.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It wasn't. But
No.
honestly, now I'm just like, I'm so glad that we did that because I don't know how my life would have been without her in it. Like, and I've met so many people. Like, I met you from Raman, you know? And I'm so grateful for that.
And you guys are very welcoming, you know, to have such a long, big history like that. Most people are like, oh, just our girl crew, no new friends. And I knew a lot of girls like that growing up.
Yeah.
That, like, you guys have been so welcoming to me, even. That I feel like I'm part of the group.
In Brampton.
Yeah, okay. I know, Brampton says, okay, I understand.
Alysha.
So, the West East Side girls, like, let me tell you
The
guys.
girls on the East End are a
I
little
don't
bit
know
more
about
welcoming.
all the girls on the East End.
Yeah,
Like,
true. There
there
were some
are,
crazy bitches
there
You
too.
guys are a good
bitches
group.
and
Yeah.
some.
But it was just amazing that like we were just so young and we still kept like that bond and
Very
even
good.
like
And now it's weird if I don't talk to her every day.
yeah, we get like separation anxiety.
Yeah, like,
oh my
like
God.
even on Monday, she like
I had,
was
like, a
really
busy day.
and I knew she was really busy. So, you know, I just let her be. I just didn't call her, but like I did have an inch. Like I was just like, I want to call her, but I was like, nothing happened in my life. Like I'm fine. Like I just want to talk to her.
Yeah.
So I was fine. And then the next day, she was like, I miss you. Like what happened to you? Like, you know, and I was just like, oh my God, we're so late. Like, we can't go one day without each other. You know?
Yeah.
But I feel, and I hope that in the future, 10 to 100 years from now, that our kids do the same thing.
Yeah.
For
you
sure.
know, that our kids are really, I'm gonna force
them to like
be
each
best
other.
friends.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can be best friends.
You have no
Go-
choice.
You
Go
guys
hang
have no
out.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that's it.
Yeah.
But no, it's amazing. I'm glad that, you know, just like I inspire you, you inspire me, right? Like I've had days where I've been down and I've had like my dark days and Deep is there to like be like, you know, like just let it out. Like, you know, just let it out.
I'm always here for you to
feel what you
have
need
that
to
glass
feel.
of wine.
Like I know that. And this is like a little bit emotional for me, but
Aw.
like coming to Brampton 10 years ago with like leaving all your friends behind and everything, and like I say this until this day, like I've gone through relationships, friends and stuff, and it's hard because I was always the one going to Markham, right?
Yeah.
And like I get it for people like Brampton was far, right? Like no one ever came to see me, but it was like a feeling I always had, like no one ever comes to me
Yeah.
except Deep.
Aww.
Until this day, like I even told Tim, I was like, over anybody, like if I call Deep and I was like, I need you, she'll be like, okay, as long as you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
She'll be like,
That's
okay,
amazing.
I'll come, like doesn't question me that
It's
like she's
25
coming.
minutes on
Yeah.
the 407.
Yeah, you know, Deep is the only person I know that makes the drive to Brampton sound seamless and effortless.
You
Yeah.
know?
Like, you make it sound like it's
25
so
minutes.
chill.
Okay, you know what the thing is though? Me and Raman
live
literally
on
live
North.
live off the same street.
Yeah.
okay.
But it's just one side is Markham,
Yeah,
one
that's
side is
true.
Like
Brampton.
Beauvert goes
So,
all the way down
yeah.
to 16th and Markham.
Yeah, so we live off the same street.
Yeah.
It's just on other ends of like, you know, the city.
Yeah.
And the 407's right there. So it's like
Yeah.
3 minutes for me to get to the 407. It's like
Yeah.
5 minutes from her house. So it's so easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you know what though? Like
Oh, I
I
love
appreciate it because like I've had boyfriends that haven't even like come down to see me and like all this. Like even in the past, like everybody.
Oh my god.
No, but
Oh my goodness.
this is where like I appreciate
It's
you.
your
and I
one
appreciate
thing
you know,
that
it's-
is important to
It's
you.
like
You have
yeah.
to say it in the DJ Khaled voice.
How,
I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you.
Another one.
I love you, bitch. I'm never gonna stop loving you, bitch. But thank you so much for being on our
Aw.
podcast.
Yes, Deep. We are
I
so
had a
happy you
blast.
were able to join us today. Kind of share with our followers a little of your pandemic life and what
Yes.
you've gone through. It means a lot to all of us, for sure.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Thanks for everyone for listening. If you're not following us on our social media already, follow us on our Instagram and our YouTube page at Level Up with Raman and Alysha. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or your own insight that you want to give us, you can email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com.
And for all of you that are interested in Deep's baking page,
Yes.
we'll put that in the description as well so you can check her out on Instagram.
For sure. Thank you
Thanks,
everyone
guys.
for listening.
Have a great week. Bye.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.